there, fans in Comic Land, and welcome to this week's comic reviews for Geeking Out from the Comic Connection. First up, we've got Alpha Flight #1 with it's written by Greg Pak and Fred Van Lent, and art by Dale Eaglesham. So, in this one, the team faces Nurkod, a villain with the power to control the sea, who appears to have more than destruction on the agenda. Meanwhile, Northstar has trouble getting on board while he worries about his sister, and the newly elected Prime Minister has taken a drastic action that could make Canada the most hated or dangerous nation in the world.
Woo!
Yeah, I know, right? To top it all off, the team is betrayed in a way that puts the Guardian in a very tough position. So, I gotta say, I'm not like one of those crazy Alpha Flight fans, but I was glad to see that they are bringing back the team and, you know, like the original team. And they're all together fighting here, which is really awesome. If you're an Alpha Flight fan, you're going to recognize familiar quips and relationships between the characters that have been going on over the years. But this is also a new Alpha Flight for new fans as well. So definitely a book that I think that you should pick up. I'm not sure how big of a Fear Itself tie-in it really is, but if you like Alpha Flight, then you should pick it up. Next up, we've got Wonderwoman and the Furies. This is a Flashpoint book. This is #1 of 3. It's written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, with art by Scott Clark. So in this one, a young Diana sneaks off the island of the Amazons and bumps into a young Arthur Curry, who ends up rescuing her and taking her back to Atlantis, where, you know, they forge a relationship and they return back to the land of the Amazons and tell everyone that they think that it's a good idea for their two cultures, before they out themselves to humankind, to join their cultures through marriage. And not everybody thinks that this is a good idea. Not everybody is in on the wedded bliss. And some of the other factions take really desperate measures to stop this from happening. So, I really loved this. This is a great story, another good one by Abnett and Lanning, and I really liked the art as well. Scott Clark really brought the Amazons to life, and even the Atlanteans. It was really well done. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, you have to read this book. It is just flat out awesome. And last but not least, we have a fan send-in called Fishbowl. This is by Will Thompson and Devin Bateson. So in this one, a smart-ass kid finds out what it means to cross Trengu. He narrowly escapes only to find himself lost in the desert. A couple of hallucinations later, he's rescued and finds his way to the coast. Is all this for real or still a hallucination? So I gotta say, the first thing that drew me to this book was the bright colors and the layout, which I really liked. And it's got a very different art style, which drew me to the book. So that was the good part. The second part was that the story didn't grab me a whole bunch. I mean, it was well executed, but it's a little weird for me. I'm not sure if it's something that I would pick up again over and over, but overall this book is put together really well. Like I said, it's got a really bright presentation, and, you know, I like the quips and smartassness, so that was cool. So if you have a chance to pick this one up, not a bad read. See you next week, folks.
Hey folks, Jim here with this week's comic reviews. First up, we have Ninjas vs. Zombies, #1, written by Thomas Chillemi with art by Jamie Martinez and Ruben Rodriguez. And in this one, 7 friends find themselves in a terrifying danger when a long-dead loved one returns and starts devouring them. It's up to the 3 in the group, granted the power of the ninja, to lead the fight before the world is overrun with the undead. Yeah, it's just as silly as it sounds. It's a lot of fun. It's not great, but it's a very cornball excuse for a book. And it knows it. It knows it quite well. There's quite a few little breaking the fourth wall moments in this book, and it really works. Yeah, if you want to try something different that will make you laugh out loud, try this book. It's actually not half bad. Art-wise, it could use a little touching up, but other than that, it's a good laugh ride. Check it out if you get a chance. Next up, we have Dark Swan, Stormborn, #1, written by Rachel Mead with art by Dave Hamann. And in this one, Eugenie Markham was content with her work as a freelance shaman, battling and banishing otherworldly creatures. But a prophecy has suddenly made her the other world's most popular bachelorette. Yeah, it's great. I honestly have to say this is one of my favorite books I've read in quite a long time. The art's fantastic. The story is fantastically written by Rachel Mead. If you've read the books that these are based on, they're great too. But honestly, this is a great comic adaptation, and it's pretty funny to boot when the demons start coming in to woo our little bachelorette. So yeah, try this one out. You're probably going to really enjoy it if you get a chance. And last and certainly not least is Empowered 10 Questions for the Maidman, written and drawn by Adam Warren and Emily Warren, no relation. And in this one, the cross-dressing crusader known as Maidman is interviewed by a Cape TV host, while Empowered uses Maidman's reputation to victimize hapless villains and gain the upper hand. Oh boy. If you've seen my previous reviews on Empowered, you know this is a must-buy. Go out and buy it. Do yourself a favor. Try this book out. You're going to absolutely love it. And there's some full-color bits in here too, so if you're a fan of the full color, you're going to like it too. Hilarious story, hilarious art. It's just everything a superhero comic should be, and it's also great for manga fans. We will see you right after the news next. See you next week. And here we are again with this week's news. First up, an update from last week's Tokyo Pop story. It seems Kodansha and Del Rey have teamed up, or separately working anyway, on gaining a lot of the licenses from the former manga publisher. So if you're a fan of those titles, well, guess what? You're going to get your fill. So look out for that. Next up, we have a story that will probably piss you off just as much as it pissed me off. Basically, what happened was, a few years ago, a 16-year-old cheerleader from Silsbee High School in Texas was assaulted and raped at a party by Rakeem Bolton, a basketball and football player. He was charged with misdemeanor assault, but was allowed back to school and back on the basketball team. The school told the girl it was her responsibility to lay low and stay away from the lunchroom and not go to homecoming. And when she refused to cheer for her attacker, they threw her off the cheerleading squad. She challenged the school in court and lost, and now owes $45,000 in legal fees to the school. And this is where Jason Ho comes in, an artist for Bongo Comics. He wants to help, so he's drawing commissions for anyone that wants for $20. And donating all the money to her legal costs. If you want to get a sketch for this worthwhile cause, please do. Go to helpthecheerleader.com and help her, because this is one of the most insane things I've heard about in a while, and totally idiotic for them to even let this man back at school and punish her for what he did. It just sickens me to no end.
Yeah, well said, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to savethecheerleader.com.
Not save the cheerleader. Help the cheerleader.
Helpthecheerleader.com.
That's a different thing.
Yes. And get a commission from Jason, because let me just tell you, it's totally worth it. Do it now. Help her out, and maybe, hopefully, this douchebag will get what's coming to him. Next up, here's Leila with an update on the DC story from last week.
Yes. There's more news on the post-Flashpoint new DC world news. So some people have had some pretty strong reactions. I've heard through, various artists and fans, and people come into the shop and talk to me about it. And some people are looking forward to this.
Some people are mad at us for judging it beforehand.
But so some people are really happy or cautiously optimistic, and some people, really don't know what to think about it. But DC has finally released all of the creative teams for all the 52 titles. While they haven't released...
Pretty good creative teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of great creative teams at least, and we're going to talk about a few of them today. They haven't released a lot of storyline info yet. But considering that orders are due from retailers, I think next week on current previews, that means that there's a new previews coming very soon, which then we should learn more about this stuff as it's coming out. But today we're going to focus on the first of the titles that's going to come out. This is Justice League. It's going to be written by Jeff Johns and have Jim Lee as the artist.
Yeah, that'll come out on time.
Yeah, hopefully it keeps coming out on time. We can only hope that they have several issues in the can already.
Yeah.
But anyways, two very busy guys who are very prolific on a very prolific title. So this should equal good. This is going to be...
That is the hope.
This is the hope. It's going to launch on August 31st, which is when it's the first title for the new DCU. It's also the only one of two titles shipping that week, August 31st, the other title being the final Flashpoint issue. So as one DC universe sort of closes, another one's going to open. Those are the only two books that week, which is kind of interesting for them to make, a big deal of this rollout. So sometime after that, we're going to have Justice League International by writer Dan Jurgens with artist Aaron Lopresti.
Lopresti's pretty good.
Yes. And from what I can see of the cover, it features Booster Gold in his Smallville kind of outfit, so I'm down with that, and I enjoy Booster Gold. So
we need more skeets.
Yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic for this title and hope that it's going to go well. Now, here's another one, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, after, making the big deal of being over 600 issues, is going to go back to a #1, written by Brian Azzarello with artist Cliff Chiang. So, really excited about Brian Azzarello, although he's known for a lot of darker books.
Yeah.
So how, I don't know if you can successfully make Wonder Woman dark, or if he can be successful doing a non-dark book. Let's see how that goes. But one thing that I will say is that the art does not impress me. So far, I'm not liking it at all, and they are going with the Wonder Woman costume that was supposed to be featured on the TV show that's now not happening.
Oh, terrible.
So,
yikes.
I'm not sure if that's entirely good, but we'll see how that goes. Next up, we've got Aquaman. It's going to be written by Jeff Johns with art by Ivan Reyes. Now, 2 thumbs up for that team, like both those guys.
Yep.
So hopefully they can make Aquaman interesting. Because in a book on his own...
Hopefully Johns won't be too overworked.
Yes, exactly. I don't really like Aquaman by himself normally. As part of a team, awesome. But by himself, sometimes it drags on. But if anybody has a chance of making it good, it's Jeff Johns.
Usually only talking to fish works in a team setting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, in a school.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the last book that we want to talk about today is Flash. This is going to be written by Brian Buccellato with art by Francis Manipool, who everybody will recognize from being teamed up with Jeff Johns on The Flash before. Now Manipool is going to try his hand at writing, which, hopefully his time with Johns will be good, and they'll be able to roll out a really successful Flash book, which, prior to Flashpoint had been kind of touch and go, honestly. So... cautiously optimistic for these titles, and we'll certainly let you know more as the news comes in. And next week we'll review some more teams and titles for you in case you hadn't reviewed them already.